Imagine a place where thousands of private thoughts, corporate secrets, and even confessions, all told to an AI, were suddenly just out there for everyone to see. Well, that's not some sci-fi plot. It really happened. Today, we're diving into the wild story of the ChatGPT confessions leak. And it really makes you wonder, right? When you type something into a chatbot, where does that information actually go? Who can see it? The answer, as we're about to find out, is way more complicated than you might think. So this is where it gets frankly shocking. Check out this quote. It's from a leaked chat where a corporate lawyer was apparently using ChatGPT to strategize. The goal? To figure out how to displace an Amazonian community for a dam project by getting the lowest possible price. It's just one example of the incredibly sensitive stuff that got out. And look, that corporate strategy session, that was just the tip of the iceberg. This leak exposed a massive volume of conversations that users thought were totally private, turning their personal thoughts and their work secrets into a public record. The sheer range of these confessions is just staggering. I mean, we saw the corporate plan, but there was also really sensitive political dissent, like a user asking the AI to write a detailed takedown of their own authoritarian government. And of course, there was academic fraud. Students getting the AI to write entire papers only to have the proof archived online forever. So you can imagine, when this all came to light, OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, scrambled to fix it. And from the outside, it looked like they handled it. But did they really? Okay, so here's exactly how it happened. It all came down to this share feature that ChatGPT had quietly rolled out. When a user shared a chat, they got an option, a little toggle, to let search engines like Google index it. A lot of people, whether by accident or on purpose, flipped that switch on. And just like that, their private chats went public. So, of course, once they realized just how much sensitive stuff was leaking, OpenAI pulled the plug on that indexing feature. They started working with Google to get all those shared chats wiped from the search results. Problem solved, right? The chats were gone from Google. Well, not exactly. And this is where we get a masterclass in a fundamental rule of the internet. While OpenAI was busy cleaning up the front door, Google search, they completely forgot that permanent copies had already been made and stored somewhere else entirely. Which brings us to these, well, digital ghosts of the internet. The chats might have been hidden from a Google search, but they still existed. They were copied, they were archived. The only question was, just how many were there? The scale of what they missed is just immense. A later investigation found the answer, and it's a huge number. Over 110,000 of these deleted conversations were still perfectly preserved and totally accessible. 110,000 chats, just frozen in time. So where were they? They were hiding in plain sight, in the Wayback Machine. If you've never heard of it, think of it like a giant digital library for the entire internet. It's a nonprofit that saves snapshots of websites to create a historical record. And you guessed it, it had automatically saved copies of all these chats before they could be taken down. And if you need proof, here it is. The director of the Wayback Machine, Mark Graham, came out and said that OpenAI hadn't even asked them to remove the URLs. They solved the Google problem, but had completely overlooked the 110,000 copies living in this huge digital archive. But here's the thing. This story doesn't stop with OpenAI. Not even close. This wasn't just a one-time mistake. The exact same weakness was found on another major AI platform, showing this was a much bigger, industry-wide problem. And that platform was Grok, the AI from X. Researchers quickly found out that its share feature was also letting chats get indexed by Google, creating the exact same leaky faucet all over again. And you know, finding this stuff didn't require some super secret hacking skills. It was literally a simple Google search. Just by looking for shared Grok conversations with the term SEO, they found people who are not only leaking chats, but actively trying to game the system. And one of the top results they found was, well, it's pretty wild. It was a shared Grok chat titled, "Top Ghostwriting Services in Orlando." Someone was deliberately using this public leak, hoping that Google would rank the chat high in search results and send them business. They were basically using Grok's platform as their own free billboard. So did this crazy strategy actually work? Oh yeah. At the time, that one leaked Grok chat was the #4 result on all of Google for that search term. #4. This proved it wasn't just a privacy accident. It was a vulnerability that people were actively and successfully exploiting. So, okay, after all that, what's the big takeaway here? Why should a leak from ChatGPT or Grok matter to you and me? It all boils down to one single unbreakable rule of our digital lives. Nothing you put online ever truly, fully disappears. Hitting delete in one place almost never means it's gone everywhere. So let's recap the big lessons. First, these share buttons can create permanent public records. Second, deleting from Google doesn't mean it's actually gone, thanks to archives like the Wayback Machine. And maybe most important, this isn't just one company's mistake. It's a problem across multiple major AI platforms, which really leaves us with this one big question to chew on. We're rushing to weave these amazing AI tools into every part of our lives, from work to our most personal moments. But as we do, we've got to keep asking, who really controls the data we're handing over? The answer, it turns out, might not be so clear.